How to pre-register for classes at the Complutense as a visiting student. Students will enroll through two different manners at the Complutense, and the program staff will work with you on this. But just so you know, the venues are the following. All the classes pertaining to Reunidas or the agreement schools will be registered in one way, and all the classes pertaining to other schools must follow the visiting student protocol. As a reminder, the agreement schools are these listed. You will directly register for these classes once in Spain. Do not pre-register for classes in these schools through the Visiting Student Portal, since this could work against you. This presentation focuses on the visiting student pre-registration process in the remaining schools, such as political science or business. Typically, this will only be for spring semester students. The first important thing to focus on is the deadline, which is usually around the third week of November. The first thing you want to do is prepare the documents listed here. The website for the visiting students offers a number of links that include deadlines, course restrictions, and the application itself. Note that once the deadline has passed, the application will close and you will no longer have the possibility to pre-register. I would suggest first looking at the specifications and limitations of the classes within each school so you can prepare a list of classes that you know will be feasible. Some limitations are simple restrictions. Others will ask you to confirm the class selection once in Madrid with the school dean, and this is not too complicated. If they require proof of language level, you will need some sort of certification, such as from the Spanish department at Georgetown or an official exam. Also note that some schools are very flexible and others are not, so it's best to think through what classes you really want to take just in case. You can always add a few extra classes as backups and drop classes once in Spain. I've listed information on some of the schools Georgetown students tend to frequent, and based on experiences of the past, seem to be more or less flexible. However, note that this is not official and circumstances can change. Generally speaking, political science and sociology in the communication schools are very flexible, and you can change all your course selection once you're in Spain. However, economics, business, and education are much stricter, and you'll want to really register for those classes you're interested in taking. So, I suggest you look at the videos on course selection. Make sure you do not select any first-year classes or classes that are not offered in the semester you plan to come. You will want to write down the degree program and other data for each class, since this information will be required. If you want a quick link to the degree programs, you can access these from the Visiting Student website. Now let's go to the application form. First, you need to take some steps to obtain a PIN number to open an account. Once in, change the PIN number. And complete the personal information requested. Make sure you write your name as it appears in your passport. If you have two passports, for example a European one and a Spanish one, you will need to decide which will represent you on all documents in Spain, including your university transcript, transportation pass, etc. This does not have to be the same passport that you use to enter the country. For example, in this specific case, you could very well enter the country with a European passport, so you do not need to obtain a visa. But once in Madrid, identify yourself as an American for all documents. If at Georgetown you are enrolled as an American citizen, it makes sense to maintain that nationality on your Complutense transcript, and fill out the other information requested, such as your permanent address. In the academic section, you will have to respond to some questions and then begin to select classes. To begin with, indicate a school, the degree program, and the semester, and list all the classes with their code number that belongs to that specific degree program, and submit. Then repeat the process for the other classes belonging to different degree programs. You will see the list of classes you have selected, and at this point you may modify these. Finally, you will need to submit a copy of your passport and an unofficial transcript. Once it is all complete, you can submit the form. If you want to return to it later, hit Save instead. Once the form is submitted, you will not be able to modify it. As the different schools confirm your request, you will see this information on the site. It's important to check your status frequently over the next month. The Visiting Student Office will contact you if they detect any errors with your application, and once all schools have responded, they will send you an email confirming your status. This email can be misleading, since it will only specify admittance to one school, even if you've requested more. And it's possible that some might have denied your entrance. In addition, they will give you a generic university start date, and as you know, this may not apply to your school. The main purpose of this letter is for the independent student to obtain a student visa, something that we have already obtained for you through a different venue. However, it is important to go back to the web and double-check the individual classes and the status for each. Unfortunately, they close this website shortly after sending the letter, so it's important for you to check this information soon. Do not wait till you arrive to Madrid to see what has been approved and what hasn't. Summarizing, make sure to meet the pre-registration deadline since this will be key to enrolling classes you might want. You can also pre-register for backups since you will not finalize your registration until after the add-drop period in Madrid. In other words, you'll be able to drop classes at that time. Also, please do not pre-register for any classes in the agreement schools or reunidas. This will only duplicate your registration, create glitches, and strict language requirements might be applied to you that otherwise wouldn't. If you have any doubts, email me and I'll advise you. I hope this video on pre-registration application clarifies the process, and remember, you can consult the PDF of the PowerPoint at your own pace.